Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to AAA All About Air Guns. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into today's video, everybody. So in this video, I want to talk to you about why your air gun shoots good and then all of a sudden it just falls off. And what I'm talking about is like accuracy downrange. You may or may not have found the right pellet, but it doesn't matter because it was shooting good, and then all of a sudden it's not. And what I mean, again, is if you're, aiming at a target and previously hit every time, whatever your desired was, getting dime-sized groups, splitting playing cards, whatever it was that you're doing, and then all of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere, it just starts shooting all wonky and out of whack and everything. So in this video, guys, I want to give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that's helped me to get the gun back to the place it was shooting at. So let me show you the style of air gun that this most likely happens to, which is a break barrel style air rifle or air gun. This is my Gamo Swarm Fox. You may or may not have seen it previously, but this is definitely the perfect example in this video. And the reason why is, like I said, it was shooting good and then it wasn't, and then I got it back to shooting good again. So these tips may also help you with your PCP rifle as well, but it doesn't happen as often because I do have, pre-charged pneumatic air rifles, and it doesn't happen as often as with these. These are a different animal than your PCP guns, but anyways, let me show you what I'm talking about. So you noticed that target, the shots were just all over. I mean, it was horrible, guys. I couldn't, 25 yards at his shotgun spread easy out of a break barrel air gun that I've known to shoot way better than that right out of the box. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks that I have found, and actually something occurred actually when I was trying to make this video to show you why this happens, and I'll show you that too. So let me first explain why this happened. When you switch pellets, each pellet, leaves its own individual lead deposit in the barrel, and these break barrels, according to Tom Gaylord, clean themselves every shot. Well, I think yes and no on that topic, because here's the reason why. Each different pellet is made out of different type of combination of lead and alloy materials, whether it's alloy, pure alloy, or tin, or whatever it is, or lead and antimony. And I'm referring to lead pellets and alloy pellets. So in this video, I'm only using lead pellets. So in this gun, what happened was I used a softer lead pellet, which was shooting very well, actually the JSB 18 grain. As soon as I switched to a harder lead pellet, like these Barracuda Hunter Extremes and the Crossman Mirror Hollow Point, which I've done many videos with this gun with these pellets, it didn't want to shoot good when I went back to the softer lead pellets, again JSB. And why is that? Well, like I said, each lead, each pellet itself is made of different amounts of lead and antimony, which can be deposited in your barrel. So first tip in my experience to get this cleaned out and get right back in the order of shooting is to clean it. And I personally use a brush, a bronze .22 caliber brush to match the caliber of the rifle itself or pistol. And a lot of people say don't do that, but I'm not going to sit there and let my gun shoot like crap when I know I've seen it shoot better. And I kid you not, guys, it went right back to shooting the way I wanted it to. Almost 1/4 inch groups at 25 yards, which out of a break barrel is phenomenal. So that's tip number one. And a lot of people stray away from doing this, but many people have tried it because of my recommendation, and they're back in working order, guys, and their guns are shooting phenomenal. So, you know, a brush is not going to damage your gun. It's softer than the actual metal of the barrel itself. So there you have it. That's tip number one. Okay, the next thing that I want to bring up is when I shot the pellets for one of my recent videos on my other channel, STKO, the Crossman hollow points were causing the piston to bottom out and causing a lot of vibrations, and I didn't catch this until I started shooting the softer lead JSB pellets again out of this gun, which shoot, you know, again, phenomenally. You guys seen it previously on previous targets, how well they shoot. But you wouldn't believe this if I didn't tell you. The scope rings came loose, not the ring on the base itself, but there was so much vibration because the piston was bottoming out that it loosened the screws on the top half of the rings, and I could turn the scope with my finger and move it back and forth inside the rings here. So again, you want accuracy and precision out of your rifle. Make sure that you're double checking your rings. Make sure they're always tight, because you never know what the style of these air guns are. They put off a lot of recoil, guys, whether it's scope skidding down the rail or loosening of the scope rings themselves. Always double check that. You know, a lot of people get a bad taste in their mouth about these break barrels. In my opinion, you don't need anything else. This is what you get right here, and that's all you really need to make a shot, you know, depending on the limitation of the yardage. But again, that's my opinion, and I think that's the reason why I've had so much good luck with them, because I always keep up. I always know what to look for when something goes wrong, and I notice what I did, and I back trace what I did and what happened. So let me move on to the next thing. So the next topic that I want to bring up is when these break barrel air guns start shooting funny and you didn't switch your pellet, a lot of things on the inside you don't see, like the seals. You don't see the piston seal at all inside here when you cock it, and it doesn't matter whether it's a gas ram or a coiled spring gun like this one. You're not going to know the actual physical appearance of that seal. All you can do is listen for it. And what I mean by that is, if your gun, when you cock it, sounds like a goose, it's like when you're pulling it down, you need to lube it. And that's telling you that it's dry in there, and it's, you know, it's causing a lot of friction in your compression tube. So what you need to do is you either need to get some brake barrel piston seal lube, or get some silicone lubricant that I use. That's because of the actual seals in this gun are made of silicone. You don't want to use an oil. You don't want to use like a petroleum oil. That's for leather seals. If you have a leather seal gun, you need that in there to actually coat the seal and get it soaked so it stays lubed. These guns do not require that much lube, but after so many shots, when you start hearing that sound, When you cock it, it sounds like a goose. It's like, wah. You need to actually spray it in there. And yeah, after a couple of shots, it might be a loud popping sound because of it combusting, but you're dieseling and you're getting all the excess out, and you're actually lubing up the piston seal and lubing up your seal at the breech here when you do that, when you spray it down in the transfer port, and I'll show you. So I'm going to unhook my mechanism here. So hopefully you guys can see the seal right there, the actual breech seal, and that's your transfer port that travels for the air to blow out the pellet. So what you do is take your silicone lube or drops or whatever you get, just hit it a couple times down in there, and that'll lube your breech seal, and it'll go down into your transfer port and get to your piston seal and lube up the piston chamber in here. Now again, this will probably combust the first couple shots, but it'll get everything lubed up in there, and you're set for another couple hundred shots or whatever your manufacturer recommends. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips help you get back into working order. If your air gun was shooting good, and that's great, and then all of a sudden it got out of whack, again, I hope this gets out there and gets the people who actually need help with this, and not just give up and say, well, it's just because it's a brake barrel. In my case, that's not who I am, and that's not how I am. I always try to figure out the problem and what happened. So again, my rule of thumb is, if you switch pellets all the time, you might want to just start fresh and clean the barrel every time you switch pellets to get the most out of it, which I've said that multiple times in many past videos on both channels. And then, my new rule of thumb is, you can switch from a softer pellet to a harder pellet, but once you switch from a hard pellet to a soft pellet, it messes up everything. So then you might have to clean your barrel again and then do all this procedure again to get back into working order the way it was shooting before, whether it's JSB, Crossman, H&N, whatever the case may be. It doesn't really matter as long as you get your gun back into working order. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching as always. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one.